So in this video, I'm just going to talk about my life. I'm not going to try to be too entertaining or engaging. It's just going to be still images. Just get the fuck over it. If you don't like it, click off on another video. I usually average like less than 10 videos. So like if a video blows up, it's not going to be this one. I already know that, regardless of how good the quality would be or something. So just if you like my personality, then that's the only reason you'll stick around. But just click off now if you don't want a bunch of still images with me talking. I was trying to get my phone out. I'm like, come on, bro, I hate the snow. But this says Garage King. They took out the par. Whenever I hear of God's yoinkiest splunker, I hear and I never saw these before. A talking Waco. Last volunteer day of 2025. Last day of 2025. Let's go ahead and bounce that ass. Well, the place I usually go to is closed, but at least the birds are accompanying me. Maybe it's just because they want food, but at least it's company. This life is lame. Somebody just pulled up to me and then they asked where the donations are. I was like, go to the such and such place. And then I was like, matter of fact, go to the front of this building. I told them what street the other place was on. And then they're going to park right here and ask. I found a place. So this will be my last one because I fucking hate the cold weather. My fingers always freeze up first, and my fingers are the only thing frozen in my face. So yeah, I'm just gonna chill right here so I can eat all this fucking food. I thought the YMCA would be open, but the library closed in 1 hour from the time I called them, which was at 4, and it's like way later now. So I'm gonna chill here and like put out the videos at some point. But yeah. This reminds me of some of those penthouses I see of people in Miami vlogging their life and like sitting at the computer, and they have like a high-rise condominium or something. But some of them might be looking out the window and see me, so I might have to move to that corner right there. I didn't want to risk it, so I went ahead and crouched and walked over here ninja style. Shinobi jutsu. Yeah, you don't want to risk it. The people and the cops just want you out. You don't got to go home. Well, you don't got to go anywhere, but you can't stay here. You don't got to go anywhere in particular. Their goal is to just move you out of X place. Even if you don't have Y or Z or Z. Yeah, pull up without a bonus. Whatever it's called. Straight bonus. Pay bonus. There's some lookout towers, right? How many are there? No, let's not stand up because somebody else was over there. So we're just gonna hunker down. I was looking through my stuff and found one emergency blanket and another one. And, you know, well, if there's any time to use it, it's now. This shit mad clutch. Shit hella clutch. But got the fucking hacks turned on. Got the fucking cheat code turned on. Clutch up for the boys. But let me keep it low key because someone might be walking down under there. Granola chocolate chip. Banana chocolate chip granola. What is this called? 3 Little Birds granola. And then, yeah. The yogurt didn't taste that good, so that's the brand name, Siggy's. And I hope the homeless people like fruits, because I have some blueberries here and some grapes here. Look at this blueberry. It said, "What? Wow!" And also, was this made in Montreal or close to Montreal? Because everything has a French translation. gonna drop this off. It's not that good either. So I'm just recounting events. I was standing in front of the actual entrance to the homeless shelter, and somebody who was there was like, "Are you trying to check in?" And I said yes. And I believe they think it was my first time there, and they told me like, "Oh no, they're not going to accept any food." But I already knew that because I'd been there for like over 3 months at that point. And yeah, that was what else happened. And yeah, I set my food outside there. Hopefully someone else will get it, but somebody was asking about, that same homeless guy was asking about chips, but I let them know that it wasn't chips in there, it was just fruit. But yeah, you can reasonably expect homeless people are not going to really want fruit and yogurt and stuff like that. They're going to want more so snacks, chips, popcorn, and stuff like that. So I wake up on January 1st, and the funny thing is I actually had a wet dream. So I'm starting the year off on a wet dream. I slept like a baby all the way through the New Year's because I just didn't feel like enthusiastic about it. Like all the stories I hear of people having parties and stuff, I just didn't want to think about all the stuff I was missing out on, like all the things they were doing last New Year. So, but yeah, I woke up and picture my life. I'm knocking super hard on the laundry room door, and there's 2 janitors sitting in there ignoring me, and I feel like I knocked pretty hard. But yeah, I was, there's 2 doors. There's one laundry room door on the left, but the one on the right side, there was a janitor sitting right next to that door, only a few feet. That one is like behind, so I knocked on both of those doors really hard. So yeah, I was pretty ticked off. Like I can't use, I just wanted to use like the second bathroom that they usually let me use. So yeah, as they decided that us as grown men need someone to open the bathroom for us, but a lot of the grown men act immature or just on mental health or drugs or just not able to manage themselves that well. So you can see why from their perspective. Like I feel like they change a lot of rules. They have rules in place to make lives easier for the workers at the men's shelter, but I'm assuming at the women's shelter they have rules that are designed to make women's lives as easy as possible. Because I've seen reviews of women's shelters nearby where the woman will say someone banged on her door and said, "Why are you in the shower?" Which means they have doors in the showers because there's no privacy at all at the men's. But yeah, later on I saw the second bathroom was open, and the 2 janitors in there, one of them said it's closed. And then I told him, I knocked on the door an hour ago, and I said laundry room. Then he was like, "Did you say locker room?" And I was like, "No, the laundry room." And then he was like, "Well, knock harder next time." And I was like, "I know you heard me." And then he was like, "No, you can't say that." Then he started walking up to me, and then he was like, we could just say yay or nay because you don't know if we heard you or not. I could have just said yay or nay. And then I said sorry, but that's my problem. I apologized too quickly, and it feels like I'm conceding. It feels like they won the argument. But then later on, I eventually came up to him and said, "Thank you for all the good stuff you do," because he has let me into the bathroom to take a shower while he was cleaning up a few times, even when I showed up late. Even before I had the notes to permission to sleep in late. And then, but between that, so after that confrontation, there was another member who's usually downstairs. He was upstairs, and then he opened the locker for me. And you can kind of use that as a portal to, I guess, get into both bathrooms, because when you're inside the locker, there's 2 doors, the bathroom on the left and the right, and both the doors are unlocked. So yeah, that's kind of how that works. So I was really fortunate about that. And if anyone, the 2 janitors that work up there, if they catch me inside of the second bathroom, I can say someone let me in, and like, yeah. 1, 2, 3. I am the evil disguise. It is the devil. The devil's contract. I am the devil. The devil's disguise. It is the devil. The devil's disguise. So yeah, January 1st, I actually had work after not working for a while. And I stayed upstairs for a while because I had the permission to stay up there late. And the janitor who opened up the door, I was like, the same one that I had that exchange with. I said sorry originally, but it was quick. But then when I said sorry again, I was like, sorry about that. And then he was like, I ain't tripping, you all right. But and then I was like, yeah, you did a lot of good stuff for me before, so I appreciate that. But yeah, let's move on. I was just chilling on my break, I believe. It was on my break. On the give it out. So what the but like Dracula. Catch a water. So there was an auntie who drove me home today. It was a long 20-minute walk, but it's very short when you drive there. They already knew about the one shelter that I was at for a few days, but then I showed them where the emergency one was. But I was eating, and then I was sitting there for. I finished my food quickly, but the front desk guy already got up and walked out to do other assignments and projects. But the thing is, I was standing around waiting for 15 minutes, and there was another guy who works in security, but he wasn't stationed at the front office. He was standing outside smoking a cigarette, looking directly at me. I was trying to wave him down. But the thing is, like, people are addicted to drugs and stuff, laying on concrete and mental disorders and stuff like that. They come in here, get 3 meals a day and a roof, and this shit feels like heaven. Like, and the beds are just like in jail or something, the different situations they come from. And they think this is the best thing ever. But I came from like a more structured, like, first off, I was living by myself for multiple years. And before that, I grew up in like a really clean, well, super Christian, might have to get into that in a later video, not necessarily a good thing, well-educated household. So this is not like, so yeah, I had to knock super hard on one of the side doors to get the staff to come out, but it took a while. And the guy that was there was saying, hey, I'm busy, so if I have to get up and leave, it might be 15 minutes or it might even be an hour. And then when I knocked on the side door, at first I saw the guy at the front desk and another janitor who's not security, a third guy. I saw both of them leave the locker room, go outside into the courtyard, and then walk into the day room. So yeah, that was fun. Just having to wait for people to like buzz you in and go through a metal detector and stuff. And like also the day center, like where I wash my clothes and stuff, people have to dig through dirty people who stink. They leave that spot and you still smell them, and then they use those gloves to look through your stuff as well. But yeah, just having to knock and like wait for these people to come back to the office whenever they come back, it's just like I want to go to sleep. And just like these people, this income-based housing, like they can't approve me fast enough. Like I need to go yesterday, and I really want to be close to inside downtown and close to work. That's why I really don't want to look for places outside the area, but I really will if it gets to that. I just really want to get something that's income based, because as long as I'm close to downtown, I can keep volunteering. That'll be a short distance. I can keep doing a bunch of other stuff, whatever stuff. Where else do I go? But yeah, anyway, there was a door that said "Do not use door, staff only." That was a door that I had to keep knocking on. That's the one that goes from the front office where the metal detector is and goes straight into the indoor locker room where my stuff is. Because during the summer and up until winter, I was what's it called? I was on a locker that was outside. But yeah, so much walking around. I was walking around in that front room for so much until somebody buzzed me in, and it was just so annoying because I could have been like, I know you heard me. I could have said the exact same thing. And we're talking about January 2nd now. As everything after work is January 2nd. So yeah, I was knocking with my fist closed, and I was knocking with my open palm, just like I was in the laundry room on January 1st. So yeah, that's just like something I wanted to talk about. Like, and man, one crazy thing I noticed is like I got a match before I started work on January 1st, and then I didn't have time to look. I looked like 30 minutes later, and the match was already gone. I still had the notification, but the match was already gone, implying that they liked me by accident. So that was fun. And I was using 3 dating apps at once. So yeah, I feel like I'm just more of an introverted type who's not super good at flirting and stuff like that. But yeah, let me just yeah, I guess I don't really know what else to say. That's kind of it. But yeah, let's talk about January 2nd after I woke up. Yes, they hooked me up with Oreos, and I said pretzels are fine. And then she said the chips need to be plain, and I was like, yes. Like, she goes out of her way to like help me because I'm like really nice to them. So yeah, I'm glad I got some food. And I'm gonna give that turkey sandwich away to somebody. I'm gonna be like, big turkey sandwich, I'm gonna just drop it off. That's hefty. That's hefty. I am vegan, so unfortunately it's a no-go for me. Right across from the homeless shelter. Shit is sad to see. One, two, three, you got it. Bend the cup, we got the way. So today, January 3rd, and I was talking to someone who is in the bunk next to me at the top bunk, and I was telling him about that my shoes stink, and he was like, "What you work, security?" And because I already told him before, but then I was like, I just walk up and down a restaurant, and he said a restaurant is pretty chill. You seem like somebody who would have a badge, like telling people to stop and stuff like that, which I found really interesting because I actually know I've known cops personally. Like there was one cop where they would park places with their police car, and I would meet them in places. They would get out of their police car with their plain clothes. So and I feel like I'm kind of official. Like I've reported people, like I reported someone last night because they were eating, and then the one of the security members looked at him and said, A, you're not supposed to be eating in here, B, you're not supposed to be eating in here. And then they went ahead and they went ahead and told him to go downstairs. So then he left and then came back to his bed right in front of security. Then he left and was hiding in the bathroom. Like he picked up like a shaving thing and then went into the bathroom and turned the shower on. I was the one who grabbed that security and said, hey, he's in there. And then he called another security. They were both in there and had to kick him out. And then just before that, before we even went to bed, they had to kick somebody else out. They had multiple police officers or something like that. They were talking about putting someone on a red flagging somebody. So, yeah. And I remember back when I still had a place, I think sometime in 2024 or 23, there was, there was like a suspicious person walking around asking people to buy something from the smoke shop for him. And I told the cops what street he was on, and they cornered him and stuff like that. I mean, even now at the place that I'm at, I saw a mouse yesterday, and then I asked somebody, are you the janitor? And he said no. And then today I'm over here again, and I saw a mouse a second time in a row. And then I told the front desk lady, and I was like, hey, that kind of spooked me. And then she said, hey, that would spook me too. So yeah. But yeah, now when I sign off, I don't say peace, I say war. I guess just because you have to be ready for conflict, ready for like violence, but you just have to like hopefully avoid that. But just like, yeah, that's my thing. So that's 3 fingers for W. So yeah, war in.